Unlike other forms of art, watercolor has a spiritual element. Oil paints, drawing, sculpture, pastel are all pretty physical, and we are able to bend the picture to our will. Not so watercolor. In watercolor, the picture plays an active part in its own genesis. This is what I call the angel's painting. The easiest of all media, a brush, some water, some color, and a piece of paper. Watercolor is also the most elusive. The obvious difficulty is that you can make no corrections, and the fact that for its full effect, watercolor depends on the quality of freshness. This freshness does not lie in the hands of the artist. It is done by the paper, by the water, and by the processes of drying and sinking into the paper, and by the crisping up of the paint surface, and by the passage of time. A perfect watercolor feels like pressed flower petals, or like crispy autumn leaves. It is not something we can put into the painting. It is a process of nature, and we simply have to wait. The secret of watercolor is patience. There is nothing as boring as watching paint dry, but this is the miracle of watercolor. Whatever we paint looks bad, and we are tempted to correct this and adjust that, and fiddle here and there, and in the process we destroy the freshness. Watercolor always looks bad while it is wet, and always looks great once it's dry, bone dry. In this video, I have speeded up the process of drying by a huge amount to observe the changes that comes over the paper and the washes. This is the angel of the sun at work, and the angel of time, and the angel of gravity, and the angel of perfecting. They have only one condition. We can do the work, or you can. Interfere, and we go away. We cannot watch paint dry, so my rule to myself is this: take a walk. When you apply a wash, do as much as you can while the paint is wet, really wet. This is the wet and wet technique. But once the paper is damp, leave it alone until it is bone dry. A second or third wash can be applied over the fully dried painting, again with as much wet and wet work as you wish. Then leave this to dry. This is the layered technique. There is no conflict. Watercolor likes and responds to both techniques, and best of all, the union of both. This little bird is one of the sparrows that rule over Venice. They are my favorite subject for drawing. Strangely, we now have a nest of identical sparrows right next to our front door in Simonstown. This strange fact, the role of the angels in watercolor, is just as true in all art. In oil painting, in sculpture, in writing and dance and in movie making. It is when we stop pushing that the magic happens. It is the accidents and the mistakes that bring about great art. Look me up, stay in touch.